Daniel. Daniel.
He's
Daniel.
got some red hair and a beard and eyes, but that don't mean
Daniel.
that he don't lies.
What color eyes did you say I have?
I just said you had them.
At the turn of the century, they were making some movies, but we kind of forgot all their names. So we started a podcast, and we know you did not ask. Too bad for you, my early 2000s.
Hello and welcome back to My Early 2000s. I'm your host, Will.
And I'm your other host, Daniel.
And this is the show where we talk about old movies that no one watches anymore.
From the early 2000s.
That's right. It's crazy.
It was a long time ago. Now
Happy New Year.
Yeah, now we're in a new year, so the early 2000s was even longer ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah. 1 year more away.
1 year more away.
So we should drink because we've gotten older.
Yeah, so today we are drinking the Anderson Valley Boont Amber Ale.
As you know, we like to drink a beer to get going before we talk about a movie.
Just loosey-goosey some things up.
I think you're already pretty loose, man.
I don't know what's happening with my mouth today. Amber Ale, it's got a moose. No, it's a bear.
It's a bear, but it's a moose.
It has moose antlers.
Yep. It's a burst.
A burst. Great, let's drink. Cheers.
Boont?
Boont.
Boont.
Das Boont. I like this beer.
There's so many flavor profiles. It changed on me like 3 times.
Yeah.
I gotta go again.
Go again.
Have you had this before?
Yeah, I have, but I've never had
okay.
it in the bottle, actually. I've only had it on draft.
I kind of want to put it in a glass, actually.
So while William's going to get a glass, I'm going to take over this show.
All right, here we go. This is the way to do it.
We're pouring it now. Don't spill on the computer. Oh, yeah, that foam. The creamy
Did you pour it really bad?
No. I like the foam. Apparently the foam is where you get a lot of the... Oh, shit, you got a lot of foam. Where you get a lot of the flavor. We're not on topic tonight.
Is that what they say?
Heard that on Shark Tank. It's better than the last one we had.
Yeah. What was that? The fireside chat? No.
Not
No
to put
more
them down.
fireside chats for us. But we do have a movie for you.
Yes, we do. What movie are we doing today?
Today we're doing 2002's 8 Mile.
8 Mile.
Yeah, had you seen this movie before?
I had never seen this movie. This was my first time.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I kind of always wanted to watch it back in the day.
Why didn't you?
I don't know.
I feel like that's when I actually did watch this movie when I was a kid.
When it came out, I think it's an R-rated. It's an R-rated movie. It's got to be.
Yeah, you were a good boy.
I was not allowed to, and
Neither was I.
Well, you weren't a good boy.
No, I wasn't. Yeah. So what'd you think?
It was okay. It wasn't like my favorite movie. I think I would have liked it a lot more 10 years ago. But today, it was all right.
I think that's kind of how I felt about it back then.
Oh, really?
I haven't watched it in many years, so I was kind of surprised how much fun I had with it. I think the story is really simple, and I think they could have done... It's a little confusing because it is so close to Eminem's real life that he talks about so much in his music and interviews. Like, we've all kind of heard a general understanding of his background, but this is not that story, but it also is. So...
Right.
It's a little confusing to watch as a viewer, I think, because they're trying to give him stuff to do. This is his first time acting ever in this role, and to
he's
do
wonderful.
a leading role like that.
Honestly, he was great.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, he was so natural.
I mean, they don't give him a lot.
No, but he was great at what he did. Yeah, he was he was just a human being on screen, which it so easily could have not been, you know?
Yeah.
Especially for a first-time actor in a major role.
I feel like the story is really simplistic and small, but every chance... They took full advantage of exploring scenes visually and telling you things about the characters. The only unfortunate thing for me is I feel like a lot of characters are pawns to the story instead of actual people. But I think if you look at it from that perspective, they use all those tools very well.
Given what they had, I think it totally worked. I don't really think there was a movie there.
They have this really great story of these coming-of-age kids, and then they also like tack on this second story of his mom and his family, and none of that really gets resolved ever.
No.
Maybe we should dial it back and get to the beginning. It
came out in 2002. It was directed by Curtis Hanson, written by Scott Silver, and it starred Eminem, Kim Basinger, Brittany Murphy, Anthony Mackie, and several other great actors.
Like when Exhibit shows up, it's like, oh, hello. Forgot about you.
Those 8 Mile royalties from Netflix. Anyway, yeah, it actually won an Oscar for Best Original Song. Eminem has an Oscar, and you don't. Just
true.
Always remember that.
Maybe that's part of it. Is like the song, how good that song is, really does feed in to the theme and feeling of this film. And if you like that song, maybe you kind of like this movie.
Yes. Yeah.
But it stars Eminem, aka Jimmy, aka B Rabbit,
Bunny
aka
Rabbit.
Rabbit, or what? I don't know. They keep calling him a rabbit.
Yeah.
He fucks. This guy fucks.
This guy fucks. I think it's hilarious that they call Eminem Rabbit throughout this whole movie. I don't see it being cool in any way.
But that's kind of what I fucking love, dude. Like, honestly, it's not a movie as far as like he's going to have a shit ton of growth. He's just like a really unconfident person that finds his voice. Like, that's really all it is. He's someone that wants to be not a kid anymore. He wants to be an adult. What'd you think of the opening scene, that opening rap battle where he comes in and he's like, you know what? This is my time. I'm going to do this in front of everyone. I'm going to kill it. And he just chokes.
Yeah. It was interesting to me. I didn't really I thought I didn't know I was in for a movie about a guy who lacked confidence.
Interesting.
So that was kind of a nice twist for me. I've always known of this movie. I know who Eminem is. I like Eminem. I just would never see him playing someone who lacked confidence.
Yeah, it's hard to see that for that time. To think back to 2002.
Right.
All those songs were just dominating high school dances. They were dominating the gym, the mall, anywhere. You couldn't get away from this dude's music.
Yep.
And to see him so vulnerable, it's a little strange. Honestly, for me, I remember the first time I watched it, I was a little nervous that it's going to be this huge, like, it's going to end and he's going to be a rock star and it's going to be this big, huge biopic. And I really enjoy that it's just this small, tiny street cred for the neighborhood.
Right.
That was enough for him.
Yeah.
And he'll keep working and grinding and doing what he needs to do, but that was the thing he needed.
Right. Exactly. And I'm good at this. Better at this than you, probably.
What'd you think about the race stuff? They weigh on it so heavily in the rap battles. But it feels like almost the rest of the film, it's kind of not talked about.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be an issue in his group of friends. It only seems
Which is great.
It only seems to be an issue with his, like, that neighboring that are against, that are like they're always at odds with, who do seem to kind of like get on the fact that he's white and doing this. I kind of felt like maybe it could have been touched on more.
I think the ending could have been a little stronger if they had like maybe done a little bit more with it,
right,
to make him seem a little bit more secluded from everyone else.
Yeah,
to feel a little bit more out. I think they do a good job of that, but because it's so prominent in the rap battles, it feels like maybe it should be a prominent theme for his character to be dealing with a little bit.
Totally. To me, this movie, I think it's like 2 hours long or something like that, and I remember about 45 minutes through or an hour through, and I was like, I actually had to pause it because I had to run and use the restroom. So but while I had it paused and I had a second to take in the movie for a minute, I was like, this movie hasn't started. It never starts to me. There's no inciting incident. There's no reason for this movie to happen. There's no like.
So you're not invested with the character when he chokes?
No, I mean, I am actually invested with the character. Yeah. I'm kind of, what we're doing is we're kind of just watching this guy's life.
I mean, yeah, it is very vignette-y, and I think that's a little bit the point.
Yeah.
But I argue it starts when you show him choke, and he can't do anything, and he's just really unconfident with himself. And then like 5-10 minutes later into the film, you see him just hanging out with his best friend in front of his old mom's house. He's fixing his car. He can't do shit, but he actually can fix that car and rap at the same time and come up with good hooks and all this stuff when it's just his friends and he's comfortable.
Totally.
So I think that's when you are introduced to the idea that he actually is talented.
I agree with you on that, and I actually think it's a great little character development where we see this guy fail at the top and we see him with his group of friends. We see like the way he is with his mom. Is the girl his daughter or his sister? I could not tell.
It's his sister.
His sister. Okay.
Yeah. And see, that's another like real life thing lending itself to the movie that kind of confuses you because they're just tacked on characters if you don't know his life story.
Right. And I know he has a daughter that he talks about constantly. So I'm thinking this is essentially Haley. But it's not.
Well, I think they kind of addressed that at the top when he talks about his ex-girlfriend. She had a pregnancy scare.
Yes.
And so he's clearly not ready for that. Like, he's such a fucking kid.
Yes.
At the beginning. They all are.
So just the way he addressed her, he was always calling her baby. Which, I mean, a brother could do that, but it just made it like I wasn't sure if he was her dad or not. My point is, though, that he's a great character. The rabbit or whatever. He's a great,
but
like...
there's not a lot of movie happening.
No, there's no point to it. Like, there's no reason, there's no inciting incident that gets us into the motion of what the story is. I don't know what the story is. We kind of assume he's going to go to a rap battle and win. But that's not the point of the story. That's not what he's working for the whole time. It's like a thing at the end.
I feel like there's a big theme throughout this movie of put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
And it's there the whole time. It's more about what the friends are saying in those scenes. It is very simplistic.
There was no fall from glory. There was these plot points along the way that really kind of build up to the end that make the end worth it. Weren't there. So by the end, I just was like, this was great. I liked watching him. I liked the characters, the relationships.
He has a falling out with everybody at the end. That's his fall from grace. And he tries to take on more work hours. He's not going to go to the rap battle. He's broken up with his girlfriend. We're jumping way ahead, but all those things are there. I just think they're smaller than you want them to be.
Yeah, they don't have impact.
They don't.
And then as soon as
they absolutely don't.
As soon as
it's all about the end of this film. Like, that's what this movie's really about. Is it's trying to get to the last 25 fucking minutes.
Exactly. Which they were a great 25 minutes.
And I feel so justified by the end. I think there's little breadcrumbs that they leave to make that so much more worth it. But you're right. This could have been like a 40-minute short film that gave you that exact same story.
Yeah.
And probably way less confusing. Let's talk about his friends.
I loved them.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were great characters. I liked Legend? No. Future. Thank you. Oh. Future. A lot. I liked the white guy who can't do shit, who's just stupid.
Oh, Cheddar Bob.
Yeah.
I fucking love Cheddar Bob so much.
Such a great character. I love that guy, the bigger guy who's on, I think he's on Ballers now. I just love that actor.
He's great in this film. Honestly, he's like the marrow of that whole group of friends. Like, he really holds it together for me because he's the life between them all.
Yes. Yeah, totally. He's a great actor and a great character.
Yeah.
I do love their group of friends. I love all the characters in this movie, actually.
I hate a character.
Which one?
I hate Brittany Murphy's character.
Oh, okay.
Just because I don't know what's happening. Yeah. I don't know what she wants ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's a nice lesson for Eminem's character to learn along the way.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even really know what that lesson is. He kind of like gets over the idea of chasing the things you want because you want them, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. She just keeps like showing up at every rap battle he's doing.
Yeah.
She just happens to be there to catch him.
She kind of just happens to be everywhere.
Yeah, like
in this movie.
I think this really speaks to the time and how they didn't want to. I feel like this character could have been a no-named actress and probably would have been more impactful.
Yes.
But because they weren't sure about Eminem, maybe they wanted Brittany Murphy to like cement that this was going to be a good film.
Yeah.
But then they didn't give Brittany Murphy anything to do. It's not her fault for me.
No.
I think she does a great job with what they give her.
Right.
And maybe she's not supposed to be important. But they literally fuck.
Yes.
For a lot longer than I was kind of expecting.
It's a chunky scene.
That is something that I forgot about. The like over the top for no reason sex scene of the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
Just like sex for sex.
That was a very awkward scene, especially because it felt like there was a lot of Eminem in that scene and not a lot of Brittany Murphy. Like every time they would change the camera angle. I kind of
feel like that was on purpose.
I totally understand it, but it was just...
He was a huge sex symbol at the time.
It just got awkward to watch. Like if it would have just been a little further back, I could have seen them both more often.
Oh, so you want to be like a peeping Tom?
No, I'm watching a sex scene on TV. I don't know what else to...
Yeah, I know.
It is what it is, you know?
It was the first time I was kind of like, oh, this sex scene could be over a little quicker.
All these close-ups on Eminem, I'm like, this isn't what you want.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But, some people probably do want that, and I can't fault them. She wasn't like a developed character to me.
There's
I never
just a lot
seemed
of
to
undeveloped
get her.
people.
Yeah. There's a lot of the Deus Ex Machina use in this movie with just like someone happens to be there because we need the story to move on, or something happens because we need to resolve this. And she was one of those elements to me, and like
Stepping stones. Yeah.
Anytime she needed to be there, she was there. He didn't have to reach out and find her. She was there.
No, and she always just willingly gave him information and then would disappear again.
Yeah, exactly. She wasn't like a real character. She was a prop, essentially.
However, I love the moment they share when the house is burning down. I love that they don't kiss there.
Yeah.
They find a lot of common ground. It's beautiful. Cheddar Bob almost fucking kills Eminem.
Right.
It's the most ridiculous fucking scene.
So dumb.
But like, I can remember stupid like nowhere near, but just I love that capturing of like childhood angst, stupid shit you do with your friends around the neighborhood. Well, this movie is really about rapping, I guess. That's like the main thing they're doing. So what'd you think of the rapping?
That was cool. That was probably the best part. I enjoyed the rap battles. I kind of laughed. Maybe I shouldn't have. You know when they were in the parking lot, like earlier on, it's one of the earlier rap things.
Yeah, I think it's like his first one he actually does outside of his group of friends.
Exactly, yeah, that one. I was just like, these people just kind of gather in a parking lot and just do poetry and rhythm. And like, it just always a weird thing to me to think like,
I fucking dig that so much.
Yeah, but what was kind of funny to me was like, I'm not a cool person. I'm not cool, right?
Yeah.
And these people are by standards of whatever the world, but then they like just do poetry on a roof and like that's what's cool. I liked it, but it just kind of like I had this moment where I could see myself and I was like, I do some nerdy shit too, but just people don't think that what the nerdy shit that I do.
It's not about what you're saying, it's about like how clever you can be with your sentence to sentence. Like I just love the energy behind it. I love the improvness behind it.
I agree. And I'm not.
What's your nerdy shit? I want to know your nerdy shit now.
I just who I am, you know?
No, I want to know.
Well, I'm like I might sing something here and there.
Yeah.
You know, I might just like sing a line that I should talk. That would not be cool. It's not cool. It's not that cool. I didn't. That was really bad. But you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
The John Ralphio effect.
I like that though.
Yeah, but it's not cool.
People like John Ralphio.
I like John Ralphio. I think it's secretly pretty nerdy that they're all like, just like, yeah.
But it's almost like the most primal thing we do as people, you know? Like we just gather around in circles and chant shit.
Yeah.
Like it's the most basic human thing.
It just kind of like, it made me feel better about myself.
Yeah.
Because these people do that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
It's just as nerdy as so many other things that aren't cool.
Yeah. Maybe one day you'll have your time.
Yeah. I don't need it.
Okay. Well, that rap battle is where they meet all the guys from the free world for the first time.
Yeah.
Ducky Man, or I don't know, it's Falcon from fucking the Marvel movies, and it's so weird.
It is weird.
It's so weird to see Anthony Mackie do this shit.
I know.
He's so young, too.
He's really young.
And he's just like tough and just like stone cold face, just like this pouty.
Right. You dress up in tights,
middle of their rap battle, they just get into another physical battle just because.
Yeah.
Eminem like pulls his legs out and smacks his head on the car. It was so fucking funny though when that happens.
There is a point in the movie that it just feels like this is the time when Eminem just beats the shit out of people. He's just like beating up this person, beating up that person, getting beaten up, beating up this person. It's just like, whoa.
Oh yeah, right. He has like a black eye by the end of the movie. Yeah. Like he's just destroyed. He's been stripped of everything he was, and he's just like, fuck it, I got nothing left. Yeah. Here's my black eye and my words.
And it kind of, there is a point where it gets a little bit redundant with the amount of physical violence that
yeah, I didn't need the physical violence with
the boyfriend.
Yeah.
In front of the kid. And I understand it kind of showed that the life is tough and whatever, blah, blah, blah. It just didn't need to happen, and it kind of felt...
It's a sad story, too. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from that plot.
Absolutely not. Or the reality that some people do live in this kind of environment.
Absolutely. It just, unfortunately, never gets resolved. He fights with everybody, and then his mom just, like, wins bingo? Is that what happens?
Yeah. The Deus Ex Machina.
So...
I'm not getting kicked out because bingo.
So keep gambling, everyone.
I guess so. If you can't pay your rent, go to bingo. B-I-N-G-O.
NDO.
And Bunny was his name.
Let's get into some fucking questions, man. What was your favorite line or moment?
My favorite moment was a long one.
Yeah.
In that it was the final rap battle.
The last 25 minutes.
Yeah, the last 25 minutes. That was the most enjoyable part of the movie to me.
I mean, it's what everyone came to see.
Yeah, exactly. And, it really does show Eminem's talent in that section, which I've known, but and I'm, obviously it was a movie, so it was planned, but
Sure.
still.
I think they do a good job of making it feel like it's coming up. They had to pre-write all of these raps and rehearse it and all these things for camera, but there's still something really organic about the way they shot it.
A lot of fun. The music was great. The way it worked was great. I'm not I don't really know much about that kind of culture, musically speaking, but it was very interesting to me to watch, to see that them, even though I know it was a movie, whatever, but to see them kind of come up with insults and how they lace them, how they change the rhythm, how they come at it, how they, how they use words against each other or against themselves, and how they manipulate words into
Or things you just said, and now they're using that against you.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. I really enjoyed that.
Was there any particular that stood out?
I loved Eminem's one that was like 1 Pac, 2 Pac, 3 Pac, 4.
Oh, the first one.
Is that the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. When he's like 2 Pac, none. Or what? I don't remember the rap, but like that, I just thought that was such a clever, something we kind of know and something we don't.
Yeah.
And a turn of phrase that it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love when he goes a cappella and he's just like, fuck it, I don't care if you doubt me here and tell these people something they don't know about me. That's such a fucking good line.
Yeah, it is.
Like, especially just like after everything else. But that goes back to my point. If they had the free world fuckers say something, white boy, whatever, like earlier.
Yeah. Oh. Just didn't have volume to my voice there.
I feel like that moment would have just really, really hit harder.
Yeah.
It hits really hard.
Totally.
But it's great.
What's your favorite liner moment?
My favorite moment is when they're in the car with the paintball gun.
Oh, yeah?
Because there's so much being told in that scene. You have the opening, and you show this really tough world and all these really tough people that are all like grinding and doing what they need to do. And then you see his home life, and it's really tough, and he's constantly almost in a fight with everyone around him. And it feels like just this very hard environment. And then they get in the car, and he pulls up a gun, and I thought it was a real gun. I'm like, guys, what are you fucking doing?
Right.
Oh, my God. And then you reveal that it's a paintball gun.
Right.
And instantly, I'm just like, they're kids.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. They're not
fun.
thugs.
Yeah.
They don't think about the world at all like that. They're just having fun.
Right.
And it's such an innocent moment.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of the film. And I really, really love it. Because he is that ambitious kid, but he's got like a little bit more of a hard edge than the rest of them.
Yes.
Because he's not content with where he's at. He wants more.
Mm-hmm.
And if getting arrested is something different, he'll take that even.
Right.
Even though like he doesn't want that.
Yeah. It's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not until like that car of his finally fully breaks down, he's just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. That's a great scene.
I really like it.
I liked that scene too.
The tension of the cop, like when the cop lights
Right?
go on and then his car dies. It's just like fucking terrible thing after terrible thing.
That was a really tense moment that could have turned a totally different movie.
Oh, yeah.
I liked that they kind of pulled to the side and they weren't caught and they laughed, and it was just a great moment.
I guess I wish there were more moments like that at the top so I could really feel those relationships. Because that scene, the scene with burning down the house, I get so much out of that. But I'm getting it mostly out of the friends and not Eminem's character.
Right.
Eminem's character is just to be like, yeah, I learned that.
Right. Well, this is actually a good question for this movie because it's kind of the whole point. But the soundtrack.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's super fun. I mean,
Yeah.
you even know the Lose Yourself song by this point.
Right.
But you don't even get it until the very end. They hint
No.
at it.
Yeah.
They do some stuff where he's like kind of writing it in his head.
Yep.
I love the visual of this film too. Like I know you asked me about the soundtrack, but I think like it just goes so well with the visual.
Totally.
And that it wouldn't have been as effective if this film didn't look almost like a documentary.
Yeah, I'm in a complete agreement with you. It's kind of the movie's almost built around that song. I don't know if it originally was, but it has been in the years since it came out.
Yeah.
It's that song is defining of that movie.
Yeah.
regardless of whether people have seen it or
Well,
not.
it's really fun to see him grow as an artist too. You know, to look back at that hit and to look back at everything he was writing, to see where he's come and where he's going now.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a completely different person. I forgot how young he used to
yeah,
be.
he's a different artist now than he was then.
Yeah.
in many ways.
He was a little more tongue in cheek, I think, back then, and now he's more mature.
Well, he
And
also
he wants to push buttons in a different way now.
yeah, he also seemed to really have a lot of anger back then
Yeah,
in his music.
yeah.
And you don't hear that in his music as much anymore. Like as you know that and that's
Oh, did you not hear the rap to Trump?
well, it's anger, but it's in a different way.
Yeah,
It's there's like anger about your life.
yeah.
That's something that comes out in your youth.
Because you don't know where to put it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he did the best he could with it. In
Yes.
fact, he made probably all the rest of our lives better by dealing with it on the
you
mic.
know, he does his anger where anger is, where anger lives, because anger still lives, but it doesn't seem to come out in these ways that it.
He doesn't
had
have anger inside
so
of him.
much.
Just things anger him.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what it seems.
No,
like,
that's a
at
good
least.
point.
So, and I think I don't know yet because I haven't gotten there, but I think with age you do let go of a lot
Some of that
stuff.
petty shit. Yeah.
Plus, letting that out in art does help let it go as well.
Absolutely.
So
Who does the Oscar go to, Daniel?
Eminem.
Eminem?
I know he already has one.
Damn.
He already has one, and there were a lot of great performances in this movie. But the fact that he's not an actor and he was that good,
Yeah.
way to go.
No, you're actually right.
2 Oscars.
I think actually you just changed my mind.
Yeah?
Well, because it is his first film.
It's his first movie. He was great. I didn't have a problem with him at all. Like, he was great.
There was maybe one time a line was delivered not the way I expected it to happen,
Mm-hmm.
but it was probably really organic for him to say it that way. And so that's why I've accepted it, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, no, he's great.
In this movie, in 8 Mile, who would you cast The Rock in? What role would The Rock play?
Probably Cheddar Bob. I mean, I feel like there's a couple characters we could go with, but
Yeah.
I've just seen The Rock be so great with comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to see him in that gun scene. That's another thing when they're just fucking kids and he pulls out this gun and everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
Right. Stop.
Yeah. But just think about how tiny that gun's gonna look in The Rock's hand.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. That would be hilarious.
And he's just on crutches at the end of the movie. Yeah, Jimmy.
Right.
What
That's
about
a
you?
good point. I probably would put him as. I actually like your idea better than mine. So you would win in that argument, but I probably would put him as the mom's boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would be a really
That would
intimidating
be
role then.
Intimidating as shit. And it would
Yeah.
make it even better when Eminem kicks his ass.
How does that even happen? He's gonna punch him and his hand's gonna dent.
I don't know, but
Sweet.
some part of me wants to see The Rock get his ass kicked on screen, not in real life.
Watch Fast and Furious 7.
Can't make it that far.
You just start there. Just start at Fast and
Oh.
Furious 7 because it's amazing.
All right. Okay.
And when I say amazing, I mean it's just a lot is happening,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just like, it's amazing that this happened. And honestly, it's amazing.
It's amazing. Okay. Maybe I'll give that one a check.
Which character would survive longest in the zombie apocalypse?
Good question. Great question. I'm going to throw a wild card in here because I actually think for whatever reason, he might. Cheddar Bob. I don't know
Trying to
why.
piggyback off my rock.
I just
answer.
kind of feel like he's definitely the person you would least expect.
He shot himself in the leg and almost his own
Exactly.
dick
He'll
off.
never do that again, though.
You think?
Yeah. Once you shoot yourself in the leg once, you're never going to do it again.
Oh, okay.
That's
I didn't
my
know
thought.
that was the rule.
He's going to be super careful with his guns from now on. Eminem may not be.
You need your guns for the zombies.
Yeah, but he wouldn't shoot himself. He'd shoot the zombies.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I think
Unless he gets startled.
he's the
He
underdog
gets
I
startled.
want to root for.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So how about you?
I'd say his mom. I don't know
She's
why,
pretty
but
badass.
she's just really scrappy and seems to get through anything. I don't know. I feel like she could. Well, she just won bingo, first off, so she's buying all the guns. She may even own Cheddar Bob at this point, so maybe both of our characters could start a journey together, and that's how
Yeah.
we get another season of Walking Dead. What's the best my early 2000s moment in this movie?
For me, it's the song. It's Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
That song to me is so reminiscent of the early 2000s. And
Yeah.
it's still a great song today. Whenever I hear it on the radio, the few words that I do know, I will sing along.
Yeah, I know all the words. What are you talking about?
Oh, I only know a few.
By the time we hit the credits after seeing all those rap battles and just
Totally.
boom, 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 this was a good movie, you liked it. Yeah.
Here's your Oscar Eminem for this song. Boom, boom. And I'm the nerd. What was your favorite my early 2000s moment?
Dude, there's just fucking beanies everywhere. Everyone's got a goddamn beanie on. I forgot about beanies.
Detroit, it's cold.
I know, but it's also kind of the trend of the time.
Yeah.
I know that it's cold.
Right.
But it just, there's something about it that just the baggy clothing.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it is because of people in Detroit, rap icons and people that were in these cold places. But I remember Southern California, every goddamn person wearing a beanie when it was 95 outside.
Yeah, you're right. That's actually a good poll.
We're going to Tilly's, Daniel. And then Hot Topic.
Oh, both of them. The double whammy.
I think Hot Topic's still a store.
Tower Records.
Oh,
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Well, how many Anderson Valley Boont Amber Ales would you give this out of a 6-pack?
You know, I think I'm going to give it a 3 out of 6. I would give it more if it was just the rap battles, but there is a lot of story that I have to get through to get to those rap battles.
Yep.
I don't know. It's fine. I actually really enjoyed coming back to it. It's nothing special, but it's kind of fun.
It's enjoyable. Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's just kind of fun to see Eminem in that time.
Space, yeah.
I don't know. If you are a big Eminem fan, I think you will enjoy going back to this film.
Totally.
What about
Same. 3 out of 6. It's enjoyable. It's not by any means like it's not going to change your life, but it's an enjoyable film. So that's where I'm at.
Is that it? That's the show.
This has been episode 7.
Oh, fuck.
8 Mile.
We really blew it.
We blew it.
We should have done this next one, so it could have been episode 8 Mile.
We were trying to be diverse with our films.
I wanted to watch this one. I saw it on Netflix, and it sounded like a good one to do.
It was.
Daniel's doing something really cool and different. If you guys want to take a peek at that.
Yeah, I've got another show out on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts called Call to Content. It's just about goal setting, and kind of I'm taking my goals and getting them done bit by bit in little 5-minute increments. And there's a lot of fun things like worksheets. Worksheets are fun.
And I'm taking my goals and just giving them to Daniel.
Yeah.
But if that sounds like something you might want to take a peek at, go give it a listen.
Yeah. And if you like this show and want some more My Early 2000s nonsense,
we got a lot of movies coming up this year.
Yep. So make sure you subscribe. If you have some time, feel free to give us a review and a rating. And you can hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at SplashZoneMedia.
Go to SplashZoneMedia and find all your weird needs because we're going to provide them.
Also, there's a website.
Oh, shit.
Now.
It keeps getting bigger and bigger.
SplashZoneMedia.com. Boom. Visit it.
And that's My Early 2000s this week. I'm your host, Will.
And I'm your other host, Daniel.
We'll catch you guys next time. My mom made some spaghetti if you'd like some. It's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
My knees are weak. My arms are heavy.
Mm-hmm.
There's vomit on my sweater already. Mom's
Gross.
spaghetti.
Ah, there it is. It's delicious.
Now you broken now. That's the only other
So you're going to
line.
eat when you're
Oh,
vomiting?
there goes gravity. Oh, there goes.
Can you clean your sweatshirt off first? Stop.
It's behind the trash
Get
can.
a towel.